It's a sentence in the book of Devorim, Deuteronomy. And it says, God will bless you. Hashem Elokecha, God will bless you. Your God, your God will bless you. B'kol asher taseh, in everything that you do. What does it mean? God will bless you in all that you do. In other words, if you don't do anything, then it's very difficult to get the blessings of God. God needs you to do something. You have to make a vessel. You have to make a vessel for, let's say, making money. You have a family to provide for. You have to make the vessel. You have to do something, but you have to do with all of your power that the vessel should be clean. The vessel, for instance, for making money. Here we're talking about making money, right? Money is a very pressing thing. A person who doesn't have money, he's in a bad situation. Bad situation. A person that doesn't have money is bad. He has to take charity, or sometimes he has to borrow money. And then if he doesn't pay back, it could be the person gets mad and such, he get in trouble. Money is a very, very essential thing in the world. A very essential thing in the world, right? Communism tried to do away with money. Never worked. Never worked. You can't get rid of it. Money is a necessary thing. Socialism, these systems don't work, right? People want to work. People want to feel unique. They want to feel that they earned what they get. It says, but the fact of the matter is that when you work, you're not earning the money. You're not earning the money. God is giving you the money. You have to make a vessel for the money. You have to make a vessel for the money. But the money comes from God. And I think you can see this pretty clearly, right? There's people that have, billions of dollars. Elon Musk, whatever, he has $1 trillion, let's say. So $1 trillion, I don't know how much money he's got, but let's say so $1 trillion is $1,000 billion, right? And $1 billion is $1,000 million. And $1 million is $1,000. Now I have in the bank about maybe $3,000. So does that mean that Elon Musk is 1 billion times smarter than me? Is there such a thing, that person being 1 billion times smarter than somebody else? 1 billion times. He's twice as smart. He's 10 times, 100 times as smart. How does he get 1 billion times more money than I've got? How does he get? So the answer is that that's what God wants. God gives it. God decides he wants to give to some people, does give to other people. Okay, we want to have money that's pure money that goes for good things. Only good goes for good things. Therefore, you have to have, the vessel has to be pure of any impurity or cheating other people, and etc. This means that whatever you do has to go according to the Torah laws. I want to say one more thing before this. Thus, you become a vessel that's worthy of God's blessing in two ways. Your livelihood will be enough, and also you'll spend it on good things. The Rebbe brings a very interesting thing. Here, first of all, we see, let's take the example I gave, right? We see there's a lot of really evil people in the world that have a lot of money. They have a lot of money. They have billions and billions of dollars. The church is bad. The church is bad. The Catholic Church, it's bad. It's idolatry, it's whatever it is. And it has trillions and trillions of dollars. How do they get so much money, right? And you have Jewish, the organizations that they get, they have to scrape in order to get. And then when they do get some money, comes along Madoff or something, steals all the money from them. So we see evil people succeed. Evil succeeds. And sometimes the righteous people don't succeed. Right? How can it possibly be? So the answer to that question is, we don't understand it. You can't understand it. It's impossible to understand. We see one of the holiest people that ever existed in the history of the world is King David, and he only had troubles, and he wrote about it in the book of Psalms. He only wrote, okay. But that's Judaism. Judaism is fixing up the world, and the world is a terrible place. The world is but believing in God and trusting God and being happy with God, even in this physical world, the lowest of places. That's what it is. Okay, so one of the places where you're really put to the test is with money. With money. you see that other people, if they cheat, if they make a lot of money, and that if you don't cheat, then you don't make money. You don't make money. So the answer is there's a quality. There's holy money and there's regular money. So the Rebbe brings a very wonderful example, and he says that there's a difference between a Jewish farmer and a non-Jewish farmer. It says a Jewish farmer, before he plants seeds, he prays to, what's the language? Mikpalo l'chai olamim that a Jewish farmer, he prays to God that his wheat should grow, and then he plants. So the Rebbe says, but we see that there's millions of farmers in the world. I mean, there's billions of people in the world, and they eat bread, and their bread comes from farmers, right? And these farmers do not pray to God, and nevertheless they get success, right? There it goes up. So he says, yes, true. And the Jewish farmer knows it also. He knows that he doesn't have to pray to God, and that his wheat will grow just like everybody else's. But a Jewish farmer doesn't do that. A Jewish farmer sees in nature a miracle. He sees that nature itself is a miracle. The most normal, mundane things that everybody treats them normal and they get along, by us, we see that everything, in fact, is a miracle. And in fact, everything is a miracle. Everything is a miracle. And when you look at the world that everything is a miracle, then it empowers you to be positive in every situation. To be positive in every situation. That's the practical goal. The ideal goal is that eventually the whole world will see that, in fact, everything is a miracle. That's one of the things of Mashiach. So to make a vessel that's worthy of God's blessing, you'll see that the money that you get lasts longer. That's why all the people, let's say in Israel, so you have Jewish families, Jewish people, they have families, 10 children, 15 children, and they get along. They get along. And they ask the father, what do you do? How do you make a living? He says he writes mezuzahs, he does, he's a janitor somewhere. He cleans the mikveh or something. How in the world do you have so much money? Must be they steal. Must be that they're lying. Must be that they're right. They can't understand that holy money goes further. And other people, let's say non-religious people, whatever, they have bank accounts, 3 bank accounts, 4 bank accounts, and it's all they can do, just have 2 children or something, bothers. How can it possibly be? How does it be? How is it? So he says, because there's different types of money. And it says, therefore, God will bless you in whatever you do. You have to make the vessel, and you have to make sure that the vessel is pure. And God is the one that gives you the money. And you can get the money without God, so to speak. But in the end, it comes out that the money doesn't have the same feeling. It's not 100% honest. Something a little bit is not right. And it ends up that the whole life becomes not right. It becomes meaningless, becomes empty, with no purpose. And on the other hand, if you really believe in God, then you're not looking for your purpose. You believe that there's a supreme purpose and everything there, and you can partake of it a little bit. Then that brings happiness. The less you think about yourself, the happier you could be. Okay, that's today's. Maybe I went too far in that. Here we go.